Good morning, students. Now let us continue the class. We are under topic of hydrocarbons, aromatic hydrocarbons. We studied in the last class about the structure of benzene. I have explained you how these three bonds of the benzene are resonating and how these, if I write the double bond this side or this side which is resonating, both are one and the same, identical. Therefore, in order to represent both the double bonds in this manner, we have studied how this string is introduced inside by Kekulé, right? And I have explained about the structure here as these pi bonds, pi cloud is sp2 hybrid orbitals. Hybridization is taken place by all the carbons, and anhybrid orbital is going to be overlap all the carbons, thereby pi cloud can be seen above and below the benzene ring, because you can think that sp2 hybridization is a planar molecule. See, on the plane above and below, right? You can just imagine, try to imagine if it is a plane like paper, a book. So above some plane, above electron cloud and below electron cloud. Okay, so that is structure. Now next topic is nomenclature. So nomenclature of substituted aromatic hydrocarbons. First rule, we know that benzene is a common name, right? Actually, if we would have written the benzene ring in IUPAC name, what would be its name? Think. See here, cyclic system. Therefore, cyclo. 6 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 carbons. Therefore, hex would be the prefix. Triple bonds are, therefore ene should be the suffix. And how many triple bonds are there? If I count number 1, 1, 2, 3, here first carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Therefore onto the first carbon double bond starts. Therefore my position of double bond is 1, 1, 3, 5. I hope you are understanding. 1, 3, 5 double bond is starting. Therefore I would have said that hex 1, 3, 5 triene, correct? That would have been its IUPAC name, or that is the IUPAC name of, correct IUPAC name of benzene. But it is very difficult to follow this name instead of benzene, because everybody knows this name as benzene, right? It was isolated and very famous. Many people are using it. Therefore, they use, IUPAC people also adopted this common name in IUPAC nomenclature also. Not only this, there are many compounds of benzene which are very famous and very much commonly used as derivatives of benzene are used in IUPAC also. Let me tell. If any substituent is there. So first rule, if any substituent is there, substituent should be prefixed. Substituent is prefixed and suffixed with benzene. Benzene as suffix. Okay, let me tell one example. For example, here if benzene is having, see around circle I am keeping here together, CH3. You know what is CH3? Methyl group. Methyl is present onto the benzene. Therefore, I call this one as methyl benzene. So, methyl is my prefix and benzene is the suffix. That is the rule I said. But actually, this is known very famously as toluene. Please, I am telling you, you have to Toluene, toluene. Right? Toluene. Toluene is very famously known methyl benzene. Therefore, even if you write toluene also can become IUPAC name. If I write some OH group onto it, if you know, you can write their names, and if you are not, you can try over here. If COOH group is present on it, very famous, you have to remember these names of the compounds. NH2 is present. If OH is present, I would have called this one as phenol. Okay, this is common name. But actually, what I should say, IUPAC name, hydroxybenzene, because hydroxy substituent I should say prefix, then benzene I have to say suffix, right? Same, is clearly carboxybenzene, but actually I call this very famously as benzoic acid. Please remember, benzoic acid means PHCOOH. Aminobenzene, correct? Amino is the substituent NH2, right? But its common name is aniline. Aniline is very famous. You can use even aniline as a IUPAC name, no problem. Please, I repeat again. Common names of these substituted aromatic compounds are used so common that IUPAC also adopted them. Right? If it is bromine substituted bromobenzene, nitro substituted nitrobenzene, like that, many examples you can take. Then, second, if two substituents are present, their positions are given 1, 2, 1, 3 and 1, 4. I hope you know what they are. 1, 2 actually in oldest nomenclature is called as ortho. 1, 3 is called as meta and 1, 4 is called as para. And all are written in italics when they are writing. You can observe in your textbook. For example, if there is any bromine, let me take bromine substituents onto the 1, 2 position. If I take bromine substituents onto the 1, 3 positions, and if bromine substituents are onto the 1, 4 positions, right? No need to count. Initially you will try, if not you will understand it by practicing. Say 1, 2, say 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. When you practice, no need to write, you will understand. If I write like this, it is 1, 4 substituent. Actually, what is the name I should give for this? 1, 2 dibromobenzene, right? But may I write metabromobenzene, right? 1, 3 dibromobenzene or metabromobenzene I can call, right? Meta-dibromo means itself indicates that in meta position they are. Sorry, this is ortho. This is ortho because 1, 2 position, right? 1, 2 ortho. This is meta, this is para. And I call this one as 1, 3 dibromo and all. And this I call it to be 1, 4 dibromo, right? So instead of 1, 3, I can also write meta-dibromo. And instead of 1, 4, I can write para-dibromobenzene, right? So this is the second rule. If substituents are present, two substituents are present in different position, then we should pronounce that as suffix by numbering them. This rule even we follow for the alkanes and alkynes also, right? And please, I said in the last class itself, don't try to write to the carbon, onto the benzene ring a double bond O. Is it possible to write a double bond O onto the benzene ring system? It is highly impossible. Why? Because check it out. Carbon should have 4 bonds surrounding it because it is a tetravalent. 1, 2, 3. 3 bonds are already there. We cannot disturb them. We cannot remove them. Therefore, if I want to write one substituent, means only one methyl hydrogen has to be removed and keep one substituent. That's all. But I cannot write this double bond removal and can write a double bond over here. At that time, carbon will become a 5 bonded, which is a basic mistake, right? So, and somebody will write that onto the benzene ring like this 2 substituents. Can you write like that? No. Even this is not possible for the benzene. Why? Because carbon is already 3 bonds are there. So if you want to substitute, only one hydrogen can be replaced with one only substituent. Therefore, only one hydrogen can be replaced and write only one substituent. It is highly impossible to write onto the benzene ring like these 2 or 3 or 4 whatever the number will and wish to you, right? Please try to write a benzene ring in a proper way and proper substituents. See, even though I don't write a carbons here, I know that there is no hydrogen in this carbon, there is no carbon in this hydrogen in this carbon. Correct? Because already hydrogen has been removed. The hydrogen which is present removed and kept bromine. This hydrogen is removed and kept bromine, right? Therefore, this carbon don't have hydrogen now. Only one carbon. Though I don't write this should be in your mind. Then it will be easy for you to understand what is the molecular formula, what are the reactions are going to on it, right? It's very important. Okay. So this is the another rule in the IUPAC nomenclature. And the third rule is the substituent of the base compound. Substituent of the base compound is assigned number 1. That means if two different substituents are present, then to whom you have to give number 1. Let me tell you first, here two same substituent, therefore you didn't have a doubt. But if you have some different substituents, for example, OH I am writing here, bromine I am writing here. For example, OH I am writing here and bromine I am writing here. How to write? You know that this OH is a functionality, right? So therefore this is your basic compound, right? So numbering must start from here OH. Then only the next substituent get the next number. For example, this one number got for the substituent. Directly I cannot give for the bromine 2, right? Because I have to go through chain. This is second, this is third, and this is only the fourth one, right? Now start giving the numbering. So what is that numbering? See here. 2-bromo we have to pronounce. You know, substituents have to be prefixed first, right? So 2-bromo. Phenol I can say directly. I no need to say 1-hydroxybenzene because I said you that phenol is also adopted IUPAC nomenclature, right? If not, if you want to say again, you can say like that. 2-bromo, 1-hydroxybenzene. Then also correct. But phenol is so common, we directly use this compound as a base compound phenol and substituent pronounced as a prefix. Similarly here, what is the name? 4-bromo phenol. 4-bromo phenol, right? And if it is different substituent, this is called OCH3. I haven't given in the above, but this is called methoxy, right? Ether linkage, you know, ORR group. Carbon group means R only. So here also carbon, therefore ORR, you know, ether functionality, right? ROR or else C. If any C substituent here and C here, like maybe anything here. So this is called ether functionality, right? So this is again functional group, therefore this is a basic compound. Then if it is have some different substituent, for example, here is methyl group and here is methyl group. What is the name I would have given for this? Right? Again, first assign the numbering. How to assign the numbering? First, give the basic compound number 1. So because this is a basic compound, functional group will be the basic compound, like that you remember. Or whichever I have given. You know, you are getting it out. Madam, already you told that methyl it is present, toluene you should say. Yeah, methyl if it is present, toluene I should say. But when methyl group and OCH3 group both are there, then OCH3 takes the preference and call it as the anisole, right? Or methoxybenzene. Anisole is a common name which we can also use, or methoxybenzene is a IUPAC name which you can also use. Okay, because or else you remember that this is like a functionality, ether functionality and alkyl functionality. Even you know functional group priority rules. So priority rule, functional group ether comes first, then the alkyl group. Therefore like that also you just remember. Therefore this is the anisole. This basic compound is anisole. Then what it would be my name? Then 3,4-dimethyl. 3,4-dimethyl anisole. Or else, if you don't want to write anisole, because methoxybenzene is called as anisole. If you don't want to write anisole, you can also write methoxybenzene. Right? Or if it is present OH, you would have written here phenol. Because OH takes more priority than the alkyl groups. See here, always nitro takes as the substituents. Nitro will be most of the places as pronounced as the substituents. then alkyl groups, then halide group, then all your functional groups. Okay, that means first functional group should be given priority, then halide groups are given priority, then alkyl group, right? No, toluene is given first priority, right? Toluene, methyl group, only methyl if it is present I can say as a toluene. Just only few you can remember is more than enough. Okay, just practice. See here, they have given one example here. They have given the name and we have to write ortho ethyl anisole, then para nitro aniline. How to write? You just practice. Ortho ethyl, slant, I mean italics, ethyl anisole. I will give you hint. That means ortho. Ortho means second position. Anisole means you have to remember. Anisole means OCH3 group. So benzene OCH3 is the base compound. Ortho means second position of OCH3 will be ethyl. You try para nitro aniline. Aniline already I told you what is that aniline. Benzene ring having NH2 is the aniline. Para nitro they said. That means fourth position is the nitro group. You try the name structure for these. Okay, so this is the nomenclature of your aromatic hydrocarbons, which we have studied before also, and now also we are saying, right? If it is present, already I said 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 4, 1, 6 is called as ortho meta para, right? Okay. Then we will move on to the aromaticity. I will give some more examples in your notes. You can also practice, or from the textbook you practice for this nomenclature. Now, aromaticity. Benzene is considered to be an aromatic compound, right? Now, some other compounds also will be considered to be aromatic compounds. We always will not take the compound and take the pleasant odor or not, so that it is aromatic to say, right? So it is not correct. Before the word has been derived that the compounds are having sweet smelling good aroma are called as aromatic compounds. But now rules have been changed. Some rules have to be followed by that compound, then only I call it to be an aromatic compound. What is that? Number 1, first and foremost important rule is planarity. What do you mean by planarity? A compound should have sp2 hybridization, right? All, because already I told you that benzene is having sp2 hybrid orbitals, right? See, already I told you how to count the sp2 hybridization, right? Any compound whether given sp2 or not, you can count it, right? Okay, so if a compound having all sp2 hybrid orbitals, then we say that it is a planar molecule, and that molecule which is having planarity have a chance to have aromatic compound, right? Then the second rule is complete and continuous delocalization of pi electron. Okay, delocalization of pi electrons. So when this delocalization is possible? When the system is cyclic system, correct or not? If the system is cyclic system, then only delocalization is possible. If it would have been open chained one, see, even this is also containing sp2, sp2, sp2. Yes, even this carbon is sp2, this carbon is sp2. So all carbons are sp2 only. But I don't say, even though this compound is planar and delocalization is possible only this, right? So I don't say this as aromatic compound. It must be a cyclic system, delocalization possible such that no two different structures will be possible, right? So compound should be planar, cyclic system having delocalized pi electrons. And the most important thing, the third rule is the compound should have 4n plus 2 pi electrons. 4n plus 2 pi electrons, where n is just number maybe 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, for example, let me say take if n is equals to 0, then what you will write? 4 into 0 plus 2, right? 4 zeros are 0 and plus 2, 2. That means any compound having 2 pi electrons is aromatic compound. If you take best example of this aromatic compound is this, we will say cyclopropenyl cation. Okay, here if this electrons move this side, this cation will go that side, like that. If leave that one more example, if N is 1, then what is this rule become? 4 into 1 plus 2. 4 ones are 4 plus 2. That means 6 pi electrons, right? 6 pi electrons means what? 3 double bonds. 2 pi electrons means 1 double bond. 6 pi electrons means 3 double bonds. The best example is our benzene, right? Benzene having 6 electrons because 3 double bonds, each double bond counts 2 electrons, 2, 2, 2, 6 electrons, and the compound is planar and it is sp2 hybridized and it is cyclic and electrons are delocalized, right? Therefore, it comes under aromatic compound. Okay, so this is where N is the integer. I can take integer, natural number, or whole number, whatever, 0, 1, 2, 3. And this rule, following 4n plus 2 rule, is called as Huckel's rule. Huckel. Huckel's rule, right? So by following these rules, we can say any compound is aromatic or not. Just I would like to say you one example, but don't worry, there is no question for you like this. Anybody give you any compound and ask you whether this is aromatic or not. Nobody will ask you. Just ask you whether what are the conditions for aromaticity. Okay, so that you have to remember these 3 rules. Now, this is the compound. Actually, this is called as your naphthalene. Okay, naphthalene. 2 benzene rings fused system. Looks like that only, right? So, is called as naphthalene. Now, look at carefully. First rule is what? Planarity. Planarity means what? The compound should have sp2 hybridization. Yes, you can, if you see, all carbons here are having double bonds, right? Therefore, they are sp2. Therefore, first condition fulfills. What is that? Planarity, right? Then, what about the second condition? I said that cyclic system and delocalize. Is it possible? Yes, both looks like benzene only, na? Therefore, it is possible that the double bonds are delocalized. Even they can move on to this ring also. Therefore, delocalization pi electrons also work out. Then what is Huckel's rule? Last rule. Huckel rules 4n plus 2 rule. Whether it comes under 4n plus 2 rule or not, count it. How many double bonds are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 double bonds means 10 electrons are there, right? Whether this 10 electrons will fit into our 4n plus 2 rule or not, check it out. 4n. If I take 4, n is equal to 1, 6 electrons only. Let me take 2 plus 1. 4n plus 1. 4n plus 2 rule, right? So, 4 2s are 8. 8 plus 2, 10 electrons. Yes. That means Huckel's rule is also followed by this compound. So, all are satisfying. Therefore, I call this one as the aromatic compound. The last example I would like to show you here. See here, NH. Actually, here all double bonds are not there. First planarity we have to check. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even this is there, but this is also sp2 hybridization only, right? Therefore, this compound is planar. Then pi electrons, you look out. See, the pi electrons are delocalized or not? Yes, even it is not double bond, but nitrogen will donate the electrons to form a double bond here, and this will give pi bond here, and this can get the pi bond like this. Delocalization is possible within the cyclic system. Therefore, this follows the second rule. Then 4n plus 2, whether it is following the Huckel's rule or not? Yes, count it. 2 electrons from the nitrogen, 2 electrons from this double bond, and 2 electrons from this double bond. This means altogether 6 electrons. Yes, 6 electrons means already we said n is equal to 1. Therefore, it follows the Huckel's rule. Therefore, again, even this compound is also a aromatic hydrocarbon. Please don't worry about any compounds. Just remember the 3 rules to become an aromatic compound.